That don't kill me, can only make me stronger.
It started with a shared pot of tea. My wife and I have now settled into a routine that we've come to refer to as our daily bookends. The key ingredients include carefully chosen loose leaf teas and done a deliberate attempt to do very little.
Is there room under this blanket for me?
And Jones, I just want my life to be like Kinfolk magazine, but it's really hard right now.
Why? What's happening?
It's a seller's market.
It's down to a month or two of inventory in most of our neighborhoods.
It's miserable. For years, our friends in San Francisco and Toronto and New York have been Seattle. They've been talking about multiple offers, and I've been all smug, like, my clients can still have an inspection period and an appraisal, and now things suck.
Well, we're not quite ready to give up our inspections and appraisals, correct?
Not yet, but it's getting there. It's getting scary.
So how do we offer some advice to our clients on how to go forth and persevere in this challenging market?
Well, you know, I mean, I love the buyers. I'm a mama bear for the buyers. And I think the biggest thing that would help my buyers and your buyers is for them to just be aware of what's happening out there.
There's a little preparation before going into the wilderness, so to speak.
It used to be you could just be like driving down the street with your husband or your wife and just be like, hey, look, it's a cute house. Let's buy it. Like,
and you might have a couple days to think about it, you know, check things out, call your agent.
You might make an offer.
Oh, you might get a second showing before you wrote an offer.
Those days are gone.
So now, the thing that's happening is it comes on the market, it sells very quickly. Here in Tacoma, you might have a day or two, I mean, at most, to process what you need to do. So what advice do we have before the house of their dreams comes on that will help them in this crazy market?
I think, and this sounds a little self-serving, but it is what it is, you need a good realtor. And I mean, when I say you need a good realtor, you need a realtor that you really trust.
I was going to say, I mean, skilled, yes, but also someone who really gets you, you know, that you communicate well with, probably above all else, that you trust, because when they say to you, we have to do this tonight, you probably need to do it tonight. And you need to know that they really mean it and you're not feeling hustled in any way.
Believe me, I haven't had a full night's sleep in like 5 weeks. Like, and by full night,
she means 10 hours.
I don't have children. If I am at the office at 10 o'clock at night writing this offer for you, believe me, I don't think that there's any other way. You have a gorgeous husband and 2 adorable children. If you're at the office, I mean, you have to be there. Like,
I'm also operating normally on 6 hours of sleep, but you don't have to do this. Our other suggestion would be, in addition to finding an agent that you really like, doing your homework as buyers, right? And by that we mean previewing neighborhoods, houses, having lots of, we know you love to do this anyway, long conversations with your partner over dinner about what you want and what they don't. A lot of that needs to happen before you find the one instead of after, because there's not going to be a ton of time for debate.
So I think one thing that used to be part of my process with buyers is it was like, we meet, we talk, and then we go out 1 or 2 times, see 6 or 7 houses each time, and assuming people kind of know what neighborhood they want to be and what kind of house they want, we're just basically seeing the spectrum of what they can afford versus what their expectations are and just kind of zeroing in. And then, you know, as something comes on the market, we would meet there, they would choose it. Like, it was pretty a very like well-oiled process, which is one of the reasons like I'm so sad to have it disrupted because it works so well. And now people come into the office, we have our meeting, we're all on the same page, and then there's like nothing to look at. Maybe there's one house.
But that was one of the other things you said earlier. So we're talking about find an agent you can trust, do some of your homework as a buyer. I mean, some expectations in terms of, so the house that you thought was your dream house in your dream location, this market may require some flexibility.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's an opportunity to explore some other areas. Again, talking about the relationship with your agent, you know, taking some of their suggestions about maybe you'd like to look over here. You know, maybe there's a home sort of like that. You know, maybe there's a style of home that you hadn't considered, but that would have a good resale in a few years.
I need to say something that I never thought I would say. As a buyer lover, as a buyer protector, I'm thinking in particular the price range of maybe $300 to $450 in Proctor. This is a really good example of just that hot price range. If you want a cute house in Proctor under $450, you might have to pay too much money for it.
If that neighborhood in particular, that's one example, is your focus to get in a particular neighborhood, and then I would suggest not only might you have to pay too much, which is sort of a conversation for your lender, in addition to having a trusted realtor, you need to have a really, really good lender, and we'll get back to that in a minute. But that's the question of paying too much in some ways is twofold, right? You want to know market value, but also interest rate, what's your payment? What are you financing over time? There's a couple of elements to that there, but yeah, you do need to be prepared right now.
I have clients that are like, well, we'd just really like to get a deal. And I'm like, you're going to need to wait. You're gonna need to wait until like a meteor like hits and like
or we're peaking. We've been on. I mean, if you don't want to wait till the end times,
when the apocalypse and the zombies come, like things will be on sale.
Hopefully, interest rates will still be nice and low. We've been appreciating pretty steadily for a long time, since the big recession of 2008.
Right, basically up since 2012.
Right.
This is not a bargain market.
And interest rates they've been threatening to raise interest rates, and guess what? They just dropped again. They will eventually go up. I mean, I think we expect things to plateau at some point. And so you could hang on for that. I mean, that is one of your options in all of this.
But also, I mean, this is territory that, you can tell me if I'm getting too crazy here, but this is Tacoma. We're not in San Francisco. Our market is a little bit different. And if we have a recession, an economic recession, jobs determine our entire housing market. So if there aren't enough great jobs for everybody to have a demand to buy houses, things will soften out.
Well, and one of the things about that, I mean, we talked about if you buy, you probably need to be prepared to hold for a little while now. And I mean, depending on what kind of down payment you put into your property, you may not be able to sell it right away. You definitely need to be talking about those things. I think if you're in a buy and hold position, the people who rode out the last downturn could stay in their homes, so that means...
Or rent them out.
Right. I mean, two really important factors. I think, the allure of a tiny house, for example, if your life might change dramatically in the next couple of years, you might be expanding, adding people, dogs, whatever. That's not something you'll be able to stay in and ride that process out. So I think about that.
Buying a house you can keep for 5 or 6 years really needs to be the plan when pricing is going up.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, this is my own theory, and every realtor you talk to has one. But I think we've got a couple more years of things going up, 5 to 10% a year, because they're going crazy right now. And then I think they'll flatten out and maybe soften out a little bit. But next time things go up, I think it's going to be stupid. I think it's going to be stupid. So I do think people should be buying in Tacoma. I do think Tacoma is going nowhere up. But prices never go up like this forever. They go like this. And they keep going up, but they go in these like peaks and troughs. And the trend is up, but people need to be ready for that.
Yep. Historically, it follows a pretty solid pattern. So don't wait for the apocalypse.
Don't do that.
Find someone that you trust.
Someone who will have this kind of nuanced conversation and not just tell you, buy, this is the time to buy, or, pressure you. Like it's a complicated situation we're in right now.
Well, and the parting piece of that then being, you need to make sure that they either have a really good lender or that you find a really good lender, because I could not overstate, in this process, when you're dealing with multiple offer situations, having somebody who you can communicate with quickly, effectively, and maybe we'll come up with some options for you. I mean, maybe they'll say, hey, a 15-year mortgage has an amazing rate, and here's what your payment would look like. There's other choices.
Well, and most importantly, are they going to answer a text message from you and your realtor on a Saturday at 6 p.m.?
Because that's when this is all going down.
It's never going down at 9 on a Tuesday. That I know.
That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, 'cause I can't wait much longer.